Okay, so I just got back from my third date with someone, and it doesn't get to the stage very often. I have some feelings of like vulnerability because I don't know what's gonna happen. Usually at this point, I would have like experienced some kind of ghosting or rejection of some kind. So it's an interesting, unique place for me to be in, but I think it poses an interesting opportunity for me to impart some advice onto other women who might be feeling this way. And I'm going to do it in the context of the courage to be disliked because I think that unapologetic vibe of just like being yourself to dating is something that's really important when finding a partner. So, one of the key ideas of the book is recognizing what's within your control and what's not within your control. So, like on a date, you can present yourself, how you communicate, and how genuine you are, but you can't control how the other person is reacting. So, if they choose to ghost you or block you, that's their task, but that's not your task. That has nothing to do with something you're supposed to be doing, that's their own actions. By focusing on what your actions are and you're letting go of the need of controlling another person's response, you can start to relieve some of that anxiety because really their reaction to you has nothing to do with you. It's not your business. And then the second thing that the book goes through is like having some sort of like self-acceptance. Just like accept how you are and whatever flaws and just embrace it without seeking validation from others. So, in the context of dating, it means that you did your best to be authentic on the date, and that's enough. Your worth isn't determined by someone else's reaction or whether they decide to continue seeing you. You should ground yourself in self acceptance so that you could approach dating ultimately with more confidence, knowing that just as you are enough and you are ready to be someone's significant other. And then another big one that I think is especially hitting home for me is overcoming the fear of being disliked. You know, this fear of not wanting to get rejected, it starts to induce a lot of feelings of anxiety and overthinking. But the moment you start accepting that rejection is a possibility and it's a natural part of life, you can reduce the pressure on yourself to perform perfectly on the stage and just really focus on being your authentic self because ultimately that's who the person this is going to have to like jive with. And then there's also the fact that you need to live in the present. So you can't worry about what's going to happen in the future. You can't be like, oh, like going on dates equals putting myself out there, which equals I might get rejected later. You should just focus on the date without and enjoy that experience as it is without getting caught up in the worries that someone's going to ghost you later. And I think this is something that really helped me to be more authentic and relaxed on this date, and that might have given way to a better connection. And I think the last two are also really important for me as well. So you need to release yourself from that need for validation, you know? Validation from others is going to constantly get you in the cycle of disappointment and anxiety. And in the dating context, it means you are placing way too much importance on whether the other person will validate your worth by, it could be asking you out again or responding in a certain way. Instead, you should focus on the date on how it aligned with your values and beliefs. Is the other person meeting your standards? And the last thing is that you should not compare your dating experience to other people. And you should not compare it to how social expectations are going to want you to compare it to. The book advises that, making all these unnecessary comparisons is only going to lead to unnecessary anxiety. Your dating journey is unique, and it's really important to allow yourself to approach it with your own experiences without muddying it with other people's mindset and other people's experiences. So yeah, I think all of these lessons together, they should really help to make dating like this fun, enjoyable experience of getting to know people and just interacting with other people. And I think like so far, I've been robbing myself of that by really focusing on like, oh, what is this experience going to tell me about myself? What is this experience going to tell me about my worth? Am I worthy of someone liking me or loving me or seeing a future with me? When really, it should never be about any of that. It should be about taking life at your own pace, at your own terms, accepting yourself and looking for genuine connection. And for good reason, that genuine connection will not be with every single person that you go on a date with, because you are unique and you are not universally compatible. You are a specific person with specific needs. So yeah, this was like partially a video for other people, but this is also definitely like a reminder for myself, because I did go on a third date today, and usually I do take, if it's a rejection, pretty personally, and I make whether I like them like a complete afterthought. But now that we've done this, I'm feeling like in a place where I could wait on a rejection or an acceptance, or like see what happens now, because I would like to see them again. I would take that as just information that I will now be able to take further in terms of like deciding if this was a path I want to go down with this person. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully someone else is also like, who's dealing with this, is getting a sigh of relief from hearing that it's all gonna be okay. All right, peace.